Romance is a beautiful thing. There's a bajillion songs about it, thousands of movies about it, books entirely dedicated to it. It almost seems like this perfect thing that you can be a part of, but in every romantic relationship, the people are flawed. You're flawed. The girl you're dating or that you're married to is flawed. I'm flawed. Everybody on this planet is imperfect. So the question is, how do we keep our romance in a good place when we and our spouse or our girlfriend are flawed? And the answer is boundaries. So today I'm going to give you 3 basic tips on how to set boundaries that can set you and your spouse up or your girlfriend up for success in the long term. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, I am Reese Maxwell from Thriving Man Life Coaching. And today we're talking about boundaries in dating and in marriage. The key here that we need to understand is no relationship is perfect because people are imperfect. And boundaries are a way for us to take those imperfections and minimize the damage they would do, and take the good things and maximize the benefit of those. Boundaries are good for both things. Think of it like the lanes of a highway. If there were no lanes in the highway, you could easily drift into the wrong spot and be on a collision course without even knowing it. I don't want that to happen when you're dating someone. I don't want that to happen to you and your spouse if you're married. So there are 3 core steps for how you can set boundaries well in a relationship, whether you're dating or married. Step 1, set boundaries together. You may be, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a guy that likes to take initiative, and that's good. But you don't want to go take initiative and leave your spouse or girlfriend behind. If you walk up and say, hey, we're going to do this, and like she hasn't even been part of the conversation, it's probably going to lead to some kind of argument. In the context of romance, the key is that you work on this together. You need to set your boundaries together for your relationship. You need to think of the goals that you want to meet and the pitfalls that you want to avoid. Especially, think of it, if you're married for years, a lot of times people stop thinking about where they want to go. They just think about what is. Well, we've been married, and that's a thing, and that's good. But no, whenever you get married, you are going on an adventure with your spouse. There's constant unknowns. There's many things that you don't understand, but together you can navigate this adventure and enjoy it. So you want to think in your conversations about boundaries, where do we want to go and where do we not want to go? What are the things that we want to do and what are the things we don't want to do? And guaranteed you and your spouse or you and your girlfriend are going to be thinking about those questions differently. But the cool thing is, if you're willing to talk it out and reach a middle point together, you'll probably end up setting a better direction than even if you'd set those things on your own. Think of it like a dance. Having good boundaries and living well in a relationship is like a dance. One person's leading. In this case, that would be you. You have the responsibility to lead your spouse in having these conversations. But the partner in a dance has to go along with the program, and they have to be able to contribute their part in order for the dance to be beautiful. So even though you may take the initiative, you will not have the only role. Your spouse will be joining in with you. And as you have these conversations continually, because it's an ongoing thing, you'll be able to create something beautiful together. So set boundaries together. That's the whole point of this thing. 2, set boundaries early. I'm just going to be real with you for a second here. We guys have a tendency to procrastinate. I mean, my goodness, the amount of times that I've seen me or my friends in college back in the day, like, oh, that exam's tomorrow. All-nighter time, or, oh, that paper's due in 2 hours. Okay, time for me to completely drop everything I'm doing and try and salvage the pieces and hope I get a good grade. A lot of us approach life that way. We don't think it's a problem until everything's falling apart. But that's not the way you want to do it. You want to take initiative and set boundaries early. You need to have that conversation quick. Let's take the dating example. If you're a Christian, you and your spouse are, and you want to wait until marriage to have sex, you need to have that conversation before you're both tempted at 11:30 on a Friday night at the house alone. That's a dumb time to have that conversation. You need to set that up early because it's going to be much easier to set a heading in your life in that area and every area when you do it early. Think of a snowball falling at the top of a mountain. If you drop that snowball, it's about this big, and it keeps rolling, it'll get bigger and bigger and cause other things to go along with it until eventually you have a full-fledged avalanche. Let's go ahead and stop this thing while it's a snowball. Let's not wait until it's an avalanche. Or think of a fire. A quick spark and a small piece of cloth catches on flame. You can stamp that out quick. But if you wait until the whole house is on fire, it's going to be way beyond your capacity to shift the momentum that has been built. Think of that when it comes to boundaries. If you and your wife need to have a conversation, if you and the girl you're dating need to talk about something and get on the same page, do it now. Don't wait. Don't wait until it's all falling apart. Don't wait until she says she's going to leave you. Let's start today. So you want to set those boundaries together, but you also want to set them early. Finally, when you have boundaries, you can establish this habit, and it's going to be key for your success. It's been one of the best things for Emily and I, and that's checking in with each other at set intervals. Have a check-in. That can be a weekly check-in, every other week, or even a monthly check-in if you don't have the time to do every single week. You have to be able to course correct whenever you make a mistake in a relationship. If you cross one of those boundaries that you've set, you do something that negatively impacts the other person or both of you together, you need to be able to talk about that and course correct. How are we going to be different in the future? If you never have that conversation, well, then the boundary's not serving you because you're not actually operating by it. You're just doing whatever you want. So having a rhythm of getting together and talking is so key. There's some great marriage psychologists. Their names are Les and Leslie Parrott, and they talk about the importance of having a time where you're getting together and checking in. You can look up pretty much any good quality marriage psychologist, and they're going to talk about the importance of communication. If you don't have a time set to communicate, you won't. You'll get distracted, especially if you've got kids and life is busy, or you've got an intense job, or it's a long distance relationship. If you don't set the time to have these conversations, they're going to fall by the wayside over and over again until the whole thing is on fire. So you not only want to set boundaries together and early, you need to have the process of checking in on those boundaries and course correcting whenever you botch it. Whenever you mess it up, it's not the end. Especially if you catch it early, you can shift quickly, whether that's finances, romance, whether that's being able to do adulting activities that are not glamorous but necessary. All of these things can be maintained far better if you have a regular check-in to communicate. So the action steps are to apply these three things. If you and your wife are not on the same page, you need to set boundaries together. If you and your wife are at a place where you're way deep into your relationship and you've never had a conversation, go ahead, start early, start now, get in that room and have that conversation. If you're dating somebody or just started dating somebody and you both decide that you like each other, you should have this conversation about your boundaries. That is sexually, but that's also in every other area. What are we cool with? What are we not cool with when it comes to talking to people of the opposite gender or our schedule and how much time we need together? Those are conversations that need to happen early instead of later. And then finally, whether you're dating or you're married, you need to have a regular rhythm of checking in on those boundaries. If you do this and you and your spouse or your girlfriend really get on board with this conversation and start consistently talking about this, I promise you, it will make everything in your relationship better. You will minimize the damage of negative things, and you will maximize the benefit of the good things. Because when you check in, you can learn, what am I doing right? What was a good thing? What, good activities that get encouraged get repeated. So you want to be able to do that in a romance relationship. Boundaries are good for marriages. It's not all about compromising by just never communicating and letting the other person do whatever they want. You need to both reach a middle point where you can both be happy together. That's the core of what good, intimate relationships are made of. So do that. Set those boundaries together, set them early, and check in on them. I believe in you. If you do this, you may not get it perfect, but it will be worth it. I promise you. I hope you have wonderful success in this area.
Thanks for listening to the Thriving Man Podcast. If you want to check out more resources from David and Reese, you can go to thrivingman.com. We'll see you in the next episode.